took good care of my D and uncle. Instead of leaving me his family, he left me his house and $100,000. They are mad now and want the land for themselves, so they want me to give it up. To give you some background, I'm 24 years old and my life is very different from most of my family's. Even though I didn't finish high school, I got my GED and started working as a shooting guide and welder. Other people in my family are pretty successful. For example, my brother owns businesses, my sister married a lawyer, my mother worked as an RN, and my father is a lawyer. It makes me happy to hear that my family is okay. On the other hand, they often make fun of my work and are only interested in the surface. My mom would ask, "When are you going to school to get a real job?" Or things like that. They didn't want to pay for my welding school. So I worked at a car shop to get the money. They often go on trips and cruises without me because I don't enjoy the food culture and other silly things. I still love them, but I've been slowly pulling away from them over the last few years because I can tell our lives are very different and they don't want to share them with me. Now, Mike is my grandfather's brother, and I've always gotten along well with him. We both loved the woods and animals, even though Mike was a lawyer. When I was younger, we used to go hunting together. Mike was told he has cancer about a year ago, and in the last few months his situation has quickly gotten worse. For some cruel reason, no one else wants to take care of a sick and weak old man like him, so I have taken a lot of time off work to take care of him. His wife died 15 years ago, and he doesn't have any children. Not long ago, he asked me if I was losing money because I was taking care of him. I also told him that I was going to work less, even though I loved my other family members more than him. That's why I liked taking care of him. He told me that he was giving up his hunting cabin when I went to see him again because he had changed his mind. It's not a log house. I see it as a simple single-family home on more than 70 acres of land with running water and power. It needs another $100,000 in repairs before it can be used. The rest of his fortune, which he cared deeply about, should be dissolved and given to other causes. I can feel Mike's death right now. He asked to be taken out of hospice care so that he could die at home with his dog, who I will also take with me when he dies. My family was talking about how rich Mike is in his own home and how they planned to pay for a big farewell tour of Europe after he died. They also talked about how they wanted to turn his hunting cabin into a summer holiday home. We are the only ones left of his family because they want to share most of his wealth with us all. They don't know that I'm getting the house and some of his money, and that everything is being given to me. I know that Slash will hate me and Mike if they find out about the nice things he has done for me. I don't want to be there when bad things happen. I plan to start a small welding business and save some money for the full-time remodeling of the house. Would anything bad happen if I cut them out of my life when Mike leaves? Being around them has made me very angry. Even though Mike always said that family should be the most important thing in your life, I'm not sure if I can even stand to be around them anymore. The homes that Mike owns and how they will be distributed. Mike owns 3 beautiful homes. All of them are pretty big, except for the cabin, which is incredibly small. A lot of his things are being sold and given away. He will give you all of his money except for the $100,000 in the house. Changed on August 24th, 2024. Mike died not long after I wrote my last post. In peace, he died while he was sleeping. He was aware for the last few hours with Maisie, me, and the nurse who was taking care of him. His dead mate is buried next to him. He was content with his life. He told me in some of his last words, "We had a pretty nice run, didn't we? The will problem was funny, and a great way for me to deal with my pain. Mike always takes care of me, even after I'm dead. Because seeing the bombs fall in real time made me feel better, like chicken soup, yes." Mike did send me the money and the house. He left me his guns, his dog and her things, and some memories from over the years. He also left me his fishing poles and gear. He changed the will 3 years ago. But he never told me or anyone else in the family about it. He left some of our family members with some really obvious things. For example, he left my dad with a bag of old hand tools and a long list of complaints about the people who were working on the house. My sister got a box of wine glasses from me. For your growing law firm, I got you a box full of pens and pencils from one of my brothers. He also gave us all money to celebrate his life with a round of drinks. It was quite a ride to see everyone go from pretending to be sad to being happy to being scared and angry. The flower pot outside the office was knocked over by my mom's hard kick. There was a long time when my dad did not say anything and just looked out the window. The oldest brother kept his cool until we got home. That's when he lost it and started swearing because he was getting a fucking box of pencils as payment for being in his life. My standing has changed from disappointed son to shit list. Some of you have noticed that they were more angry about bigger assets being sold and given away than about the cabin and the money Mike left me. They lost their minds over that. Most of the time they were mean to the major organization that Mike left the rest of his estate to, and they seemed to accept it. There was one short outburst and a few hurtful comments. I haven't talked to them much since Mike died and the will problem came up. The people who told me that it might take up to a year to fix the problems and other issues told me that. I put in an alarm for the gate, some cameras, and locked the house. I'm moving in slowly because I will be living here and at my apartment until my lease is up. It's clearly old, and I'm fixing it up and remodeling it right now. Because my job is related to my phone number, I chose to block everyone except my mom instead of changing it in case something really bad happened. After a few days, she stopped complaining and asked Mike why he had left me something so nice. This past week, she called and texted me again, saying there was an emergency. What I found out when I called her was that it wasn't an emergency. People want me to give my sister the house and land because she wants to start a family and raise her children in a healthy way. My mother was told that my sister and her husband have a nice house and a double pay in a state that is not the same as mine. They are free to move to my state if they want to, but I will not give them any of my land. Then she suggested that they buy it from me for $200,000, which is a hugely inadequate amount of money. I said no. I heard everything from I'm a selfish jerk to I'll be dead to my sister if I don't support her plans to raise her kids in the country. Mike wants me to give you back the land and house to see if we can ever help you again, you spoiled brat. That made me angry instead of sad because it looks like they want me to give up everything my great uncle left to me. Something about those things should have hurt more for me to hear. My sister also cried on the phone and told me that she and her husband had always wanted to raise their kids on Mike's land. Now that I think about it, she had never brought it up before, so maybe this is a new thing. I felt bad telling her no at the time. Since then, they've been in touch with me through email, social media, and other channels. They were after me to let my sister have a bad time in the house and on the land. So once more, the people are right, even though I tried my best. I should have stayed away from everyone altogether. As of now, they don't know where I work because I moved and deleted my social media accounts. That being said, they know where my house is. While I was at work, my mom and sister drove by and banged on the doors, tried to open the side door, and looked in the windows. So he can't sue. My mom tells my sister very clearly not to touch anything on my doorbell camera. I plan to put in a gate that locks right now. It only closes and doesn't lock. It's time to make a list of the people I should tell if I change my phone number now that I've stopped everyone. I'm not sure what I can do to keep them from coming into my land. When I got back to my apartment about 2 weeks ago, my parents were waiting for me to tell them how upset my sister is that her future children won't be able to grow up in the country. I'm afraid they'll stay on the land until I give in. I hope that not putting up any trespassing signs is enough. The road goes right next to my house. One of my brothers took a picture of it and sent it to me. Aside from that, Mike is laughing in heaven, and Maisie and I are fine. For a short time longer, I will stay here. Then I will log off of this account for good. Relevant remarks. The person in question, asked his mother and sister for a letter telling them to stop bothering them for helping the rest of the family by entering the land. I don't think there's anything officially I can do, but I will look into it. Even though I don't own this house yet, I was given permission to move in. Going through the will seems like a process that can take years. So, I'm not sure what I can officially do about it. They could buy the land from me, but I don't think I could. They probably expect me to give her money and make sure her children have the best life possible. She is coming to this land for the first time. When she and my mom got there, it was her first time there. The brother who drove by, the lawyer brother who works in insurance, hasn't talked to me yet. Mike has a golden retriever named Maisie. She's a little older than you, but she's still active and fun. Although she is pretty well trained, I hope it won't be too hard to find someone nearby who wants to work with her. I'll do what other people told me to do and ask about the veterinarian's family situation there. I was adopted. Wow. The next story. When I told my husband I was pregnant, he said I was cheating on him. I found texts on his phone that showed he was having an affair after he agreed to a DNA test. My husband Alex, 27M, and I, 26F, got married a year ago. I just recently found out that I'm going to be a mom. We didn't mean for this to happen, but since we got married, we haven't used protection every time we had sex, and I'm not on birth control right now. It looks like I'm only a few weeks along. I haven't been to the doctor yet. In any case, I told him yesterday after he got home from work. As someone who had always wanted to be a mom, I was really happy about it. When I told him, I was pretty sure smiling, and I thought he would be too after hearing the news. I should add that he hasn't said anything against having kids. My first thought was wrong. After that, he gets very angry and asks how in the world this could have happened. I told him it wasn't shocking because we hadn't been wearing protection every time, even though it was a surprise. I thought he would have known about it. He didn't know it, but he didn't. After we talked for a short time, he insisted on a DNA test and told me there was no way it could be his. It hurt me and made me angry. Just so you know, I've never cheated on my husband and I never will. I have also never done anything that would make him think I am cheating on him. It shocked me so much that he didn't trust my commitment enough to want a paternity test. I told him I was surprised that he was really asking me to do that. He said that the fact that I didn't take the test would show that I was loyal to him and not helping my case. I really don't remember what I said, but I think it was something like, "I don't think I want a child with you anymore if you don't trust me and my loyalty so much that you think I cheated on you and got pregnant with someone else's baby. I don't want to be attached to someone who doesn't trust me." He lost it and told me again that I was cheating. After a heated argument, he said I was being silly, ignoring his concerns and insisting that my request for a DNA test was valid. In the end, I agreed to take the test, but told them I would keep my word. Many people say that I didn't agree with it, even though I strongly agreed with it, so I had to say it again. We haven't talked since the fight, and he is at work now. When I asked my friend for help, she told me that while it was wrong for him to accuse me of cheating, I shouldn't have addressed one of his real concerns with that comment, because it was clear that he had good reason to feel that way about the situation. I have no idea why he thought I was cheating on him. Since I thought we should be able to trust each other, the fact that he called me names and made such rude charges hurt me a lot. I would, however, like to say what I did. A lot of people think that he had an unsuccessful secret vasectomy, and I also thought about that possibility. I asked him during the fight if he had a vasectomy or couldn't have children because of that. He waved off the question and kept saying that the baby wasn't his without giving me a good reason, so I don't know what to say about that. Edit 2, I think I should explain more about why I'm not biased against kids. During our first date, I told him that not having kids was a deal breaker for me. He said it was fine because that was his plan if we ever decided to have kids. If something takes place while we're not there, that's fine. That's neutral, because I don't know what else to call it. I thought he would accept my pregnancy, because that's what he said when I told him I was pregnant. But it looks like he just changed his mind and told no one about it. Also, I don't mind if guys ask for paternity tests. What bothered me was that he accused me of cheating without any proof. It was changed on August 23, 2024. Hey everyone, this isn't going to be a huge news story about how we got the test results back and how he had a secret vasectomy, etc., but it is an important one. This post might be long. Thanks to everyone for their help and kind words. Everything, even the criticism, was very helpful because it made me think about what I did and how I handled the situation. Additionally, I'm very sorry that I didn't respond to any of the comments. When so many people came in all at once, it was a little scary. Stepping forward. After writing that post, I made him his favorite dinner and gave him some time to relax before I brought it up again in a calm way. I told him I was happy to take the pregnancy test, but it made me feel bad that he might think I was cheating on him. I didn't want him to feel less loved because I didn't want him to feel less loved. I also said I was sorry for what I said. I asked him if his charges against me were just as a result of the news making him feel overwhelmed and scared. He went on, that wasn't it, and that was his real worry. After that, he told me that he wouldn't be willing to talk to me, say anything else, or give in until the test was over. When I asked him about it, he almost yelled at me and told me to forget about it for now. So I did. Because of this, there has been a lot of conflict. Reading through comment after comment has been taking what seems like forever. A lot of you said he was cheating on you. I was about to give up and think that he had been told he couldn't have children or something, but then I had a sick feeling that I should look into his phone. For some reason, I never wanted to be the type of person who checks their partner's phone all the time, but my gut has always told me what to do, so I did it last night while he was sleeping. I went to the living room and stole his phone from the table next to his bed. I know he is cheating on me. Not only that, but the friend I mentioned in the last post is also guilty of the same thing. Like many of you said. I guess it makes sense now that I think about it, but I'm still a little shocked. After reading the comments, I understood that her attitude raised a red flag. Before, I had no doubts about their connection. From what I saw in their texts, it looks like they've only been dating for a few months, starting after we got married. But to be honest, I was only interested in the texts I sent him right after telling him I was pregnant. I don't know what I was thinking when I decided to fuck her without a condom he texted her. I swear to God it better not be mine. Even though she says it's mine if it's clear that I don't want children with her, I'd rather be with you than be forced to live with her. I'll be happy. I know I should have been more careful since you are my friend in this situation. It doesn't matter to me now if she thinks I'm a jerk or a bad husband. This is what he said when my friend told him that I had talked to her about it. Yes, there were only a few words, but it was hard to understand what they were writing. I finally began to cry a lot. I took a picture of the texts on his phone and had them sent to me. I then deleted the messages from his phone. He didn't seem to have sent anything before deleting the pictures from the folder that had just been deleted. They were also taken off of his PC, which is why I went there too. From his texts, I learned that he didn't think he couldn't have children and that he didn't have a botched secret vasectomy. He did say that he should have been more careful and that he didn't know what he was thinking. I don't think he would say that if he thought he couldn't have children. He also knows that I don't use birth control at the moment. It was his choice, not mine, not to use a condom. I just agreed with them. I didn't make him do anything. At first, he was pulling away, but sometimes he wasn't. I don't get why, after having an affair, he would still go out without a condom sometimes. I think it was because I would be suspicious if he told me he didn't want to go anywhere, without someone watching him. That's pretty much it for now. I'm not going to tell him right away that he's cheating on me. Along with the test results, I'm going to get the test and face him to tell him I want a divorce. That is, after all, my current plan. But maybe this isn't the best thing to do since my thoughts are all over the place. I'm not sure. I almost forgot to say that I'm going to get an STD test just to be safe. I feel like crap. It's like 6 in the morning, and I haven't slept. Thanks to everyone who told me I did a good job. I think I will have an abortion because I don't want my first full-term pregnancy to be a terrible fear instead of a happy time. That's why it's important. The next report will likely happen after the paternity test or whenever I feel like it.